This is onboarding flows. I want to go ahead and preface before we start this video that this one might be a little lengthy, but it's lengthy for a reason. Onboarding flows are one of the most robust features in functionality, and I would say probably the most unique feature in all of Discord bots. It allows you to define onboarding flows for your users when they first join your community, or allows you to feature gate specific features behind roles in a controlled, structured way. One of the example use cases that we use it for is for our game servers. We want to be able to keep track of who might be a member in one of our guilds, for example, Path of Exile 2. If they're a member in that guild, but they leave our Discord, we want to know about it. And this system helps facilitate that kind of behavior. So I'm going to go through the setup briefly here, and then we'll hop over and show you an example of it happening and how it functions live. This system makes use of much of the message builder functionality, as well as a new system that is very similar to message builder called form builder, which I'll show you both of those today. The message builder, if you want more information about it, head over to the message builder section, select the help button, and you can either read through the documentation there or watch the video. Once you've got a handle on message builder, form builder is going to come pretty naturally to you, and then the rest of this configuration becomes fairly trivial. There are two requirements to set up a onboarding flow. There's the configuration itself, as well as the panel, which you'll see the option for it here. The panel also uses the message builder. You can send it to a target channel, and you can sync it after making changes. We'll come back to that here in just a few minutes. For the setup, you need to give your flow a name. You can also specify if you would like it to auto-approve those applications. So for example, if a user joins your community, selects one of the onboarding flows, they can either go through a manual approval process via your staff, or you can have InfiniTea automatically approve them, depending on this section here. The registration channel is the channel where the applications are actually going to be posted at. This does need to be configured whenever you do not have auto approve enabled. Ergo, if you are manually approving, this must be set. I recommend that this channel be visible only to your staff. However, you can make it public by setting the manager roles down here at the bottom. This prevents people from interacting with the application except for those that are allowed to actually interact with it. There's also a log channel. This is an optional channel where you can send your registration logs for behavior changes such as applications being approved, delayed, or deleted. In addition, there is a welcome channel where you can specify a channel for welcome messages to be sent once an application has been approved. Down here are the utility roles. These are the roles that are given to the user when the application is approved, either automatically or upon manual approval. Whenever we hop over to Discord here in just a minute and I show you this in action, you'll see how this functionality ties in. The next options that you have to configure are the messages. We give you a lot of verbose options and functions in here. For example, you can configure your welcome message. If you have that channel enabled in the setup, you can set that here. You can also enable or disable direct messages for application received, application approved, and your review being delayed. This is very important and helps automate much of the behavior that your staff would normally have to do. After that, there's also the form builder. Now I'm going to hop into the form builder and briefly talk about this. This functionality can get a little bit confusing. However, you can click the help button down here for more information about how this form builder functions. Ultimately, this form builder allows you to configure the content when a user applies for an onboarding flow, what kind of content you want to capture. For example, in our example here, we're capturing the in-game name, a simple drop-down, are they new to Enshrouded, and are they new to Twisted Gaming? Okay. From here, it's pretty trivial. You have options down here for editing different things, as well as adding new content. You can add additional pages if you want. You can have up to 10 pages with different content in them. And you can also use many of these different options here that are available to you. Now, some of these options for selectors, I do want to call attention to. So role select response only. This is a special role selector that doesn't give a user a role. It only allows them to select the roles. However, there is also a role select for assigning the roles. In other words, if the user selects from this list a role that they want to assign, then they would be able to do so. And this is how the forms are built through this form builder. I won't dive into it anymore here, but I'm going to discard and close, and we're going to hop over to Discord so you can see how this functions live. So into Discord, in my community, I have this apply here channel where I've got all of these selectors added to a message builder configuration, ergo the panel. Let me hop back over there and show you the panel real quick. So this is the panel. If I edit this, you'll see that it has all of the selector options, onboarding flow selectors here. You need to have this for users to be able to get started. Once I select a flow, it will pull up the form that I would previously built. Then I can put some content in here, and then I will hit submit. From this point, the user will receive a direct message, as you can see here from InfiniTea. We received your application, and then hopping back into here, this is where staff would begin to become interactive with this functionality. Staff can see options for approving, delaying, viewing info, and adding notes to this particular application. So for the sake of this, I'm going to hit the info button here. And you'll see that this is the application history. There are also notes that we could view in here, but I don't think there are any notes. Actually, there is one from a different application. And there's also warnings and reports. Warnings and reports are sent to this application via community mod functionality or via global watch list. We'll discuss those features in a later video, or you can find the tutorial section in the InfiniTea dashboard by clicking the help button in the bottom right for that respective function. I'm going to dismiss this for now, and I'm going to send a test delay. I have to provide a reason, and then this test delay will be sent. Once a delay has been sent, it will notify the user automatically with the configured delay message, as well as the reason for the delay. If a user then comes back and updates their application, for example, I'm going to do that now. Previously, the name was test. Now I'm going to do hello world, and I'm going to change the rules to no. Once I submit it this time, it's going to update that application. It will resend the application submit DM, and you'll notice that it says here that it's changed to orange, and the content has changed for the quest information. So hello world, have you read the rules? And then the controls return. For now, I'm going to approve this to show the approval flow. Once the application has been approved, then it will also send another DM for that approval application. In addition to this, I should be able to click on my name and see the roles, and you will see the roles for Conan Exiles right here. It automatically assigned the role that was configured for this application. Now, this feature goes a little bit deeper than this because there is also data and reporting. I'm going to hop back out to the dashboard here, and I'm going to hop into data and reporting. Data and reporting is a section that allows you to manage your data related to applications, actors, achievements, inactive members, and more. For now, I'm going to focus solely on the applications. hopping into Conan Exiles, and you'll see there's my application here from just a moment ago. If I open this up, I should be able to see all of the details for that application as well as the application history. In addition to that, I can view the actors. This is my staff that has performed various actions. So you can see an entire log of actions related to these applications. And you'll see that I approved the application here, the application was delayed, and then it was approved again. And you can also open here directly. And by the way, this content is editable here. However, if you edit it in this location, it will not automatically update in Discord. This is mostly for record keeping and tracking to see who in your community is the most effective at approving and managing applications, as well as checking to make sure that everything is going the way that you intend it to. Once a user's been approved that application, then they would get access to whatever role that you want them to have access to. For example, I have my category for Conan Exiles to be hidden from everyone, but only visible to people that hold that role. And this makes things very clean and usable in certain scenarios such as this. If I come in here and I go view Conan Exiles as this role, you'll see that the Discord is very clean, specifically for users that only have that role. And that is the onboarding flow pretty much in a nutshell. Just to recap, when you're creating an onboarding flow, the only things that are absolutely required are going to be the name of the flow itself, the registration channel, if auto approve is enabled, the utility roles, if you want to specify, and the manager roles. Once you have configured these things and the form, at that point, you need to configure a panel. So click here, create a message forge panel or a message builder panel that includes the buttons for the selectors to get it started. Send that to a channel and you'll be good to go.